So thank you to the Clarity Girls and my future sister-in-law, now that she just announced that. That was awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start with a quote. I once heard that everybody at some point in their life goes through something that changes them in a way that they can never go back to the person that they once were. Well, this quote holds insanely true to me and to my family. Something happened to me that changed the person that I was and was going to be instantly. But I have found that it has changed me for the better, hence me being able to talk about it tonight. So about 5 years ago, on October 10th of 2013, I'm sorry if that's your birthday, my parents were traveling from Philadelphia to Florida. They were driving through Richmond, Virginia, down I-95. They were going 65 miles an hour. It was around 11:30 at night, and someone pulled up alongside them and shot them with a shotgun. I know, sorry. So my dad was hit with 12 pellets. They went into his back, behind his left shoulder, shattering his C5 vertebrae, instantly paralyzing his entire body. And my mom was shot with one pellet in her neck, through her mouth, and landing in her parotid gland, where it actually stayed. It missed her airway just by centimeters, so it's a miracle that she's even alive. And so my mom, who just got shot in the face, who didn't even realize she got shot in the face, if you knew her, you would understand what that's She didn't even realize. So she jumped on the console of the car, and she was able to grab the wheel from my dad and glide it to the side of the road and eventually stop the car. And she called 911, and she saved my dad's life, and they both were taken immediately to the closest hospital, which was Virginia Commonwealth University. So now that you know that, let me just give you a brief background of myself, pre-parents being shot. So I've always been a very anxious person. I'm pretty much scared of everything. I'm scared of the dark. I'm scared of being by myself. I'm scared of flying. I hate flying. And I'm just nervous all the time about what could potentially go wrong around me. So I was actually in Italy when my parents got in the car accident. I was living there for 3 months teaching English, and I get this phone call telling me that my parents were in a terrible accident and that I had to come home immediately. My flight was already booked. And I've never flown alone before at this point, so I had to get on a plane for the first time, and I'm flying internationally, and it just really sucked. So I get on the plane, and I'm sitting in the last row, which I hate. I prefer to sit in the front of the plane at all times, so I can keep my eyes on the cockpit, just in case they need me. So this man walks up to me, and he's like, my wife and I are traveling together, but we really wish to sit next to each other. He's like, would you mind switching seats with her? And I was like, hell yes, let's do it. So he takes me up to closer to the front of the plane, and sits me down next to this woman. And I was like a mess. I was crying. I was not even trying to keep it together. I was like, nothing about this is cool. I'm a mess. So I sit down next to this lady, and she right away asked me. She's like, are you okay? Why are you crying? And I was like, oh my god. And I just barged my whole life story on her. I was like, I just had my friend in Italy, and I hate flying, and my parents got in a car accident, and I don't know what's happening. And she was like, okay, listen, tell me your parents' names. Father Paul sitting in front of me, and we just finished a pilgrimage, and there's 80 of us. And she points to the whole damn plane. And I was like, thank you, God. So God knew how scared I was and that I hated flying with strangers, that he sent the pilgrimage to pick me up. So the next 10 hours of the flight were so much fun. I honestly had a great time. People were coming up to me, buying me wine, asking me if I was okay, praying for my family. And even though I was traveling into this insane situation, I couldn't help but just be happy about what was happening to me on this plane. I just made 80 new friends in one day. So I get off the plane, and I have to hug 80 people goodbye, which took an hour and a half. my cousins were waiting for me. They're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, won't even believe me. It's awesome. So the next thing I have to do is I get to the hospital, and I walked in, and I just had this sense of security and confidence over me that I never thought I would have. I was previously known as the girl who was scared of everything, so people expected me to be carried in kicking and screaming. But I decided right away that I was going to look for things like the pilgrimage. I was just going to focus on random acts of kindness and little miracles that just to get me through. So then I had to go see my parents for the first time. So I first saw my mom, and she's in the audience, so she's not going to love this story, but first saw my mom, and she was standing in the hallway, anxiously awaiting my arrival, which I did not expect since she had just been shot in the face. And she's in her hospital gown, and she's dragging her IV pole behind her, and she's wearing a giant bracelet that says fall risk. So I was like, sit down. Why are you greeting me? And after talking to her for a minute, I instantly realized she was like very heavily medicated, and she very noticeably had a bullet inside her face, which is not funny at all. But in the moment, I was like, she sounded like Elmer Fudd, and she was just saying crazy shit. So I was like, and it was funny, so I was loud. So I was like, all right, you're fine, I need to go. So I go and see my dad for the first time, and my dad is like a completely different story. He looked absolutely terrible. He was hooked up to all these machines and just a nightmare to look at. So when I walked in, my dad's always been my best friend. He's still my best friend, but he's always been my best friend, like the closest person to me. So right away when I walked in and I saw the need he was in, I was like, I can't be devastated right now. That's the last thing he needs from me. He needs me to be here and be strong and get shit done for him right now. Just need to do what he needs to do. I need to do what he needs me to do. So that's what I did. I went on to feed him every meal and scratch every itch, and I had to do things for my dad that I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would have to do at 24 years old. So now that I've seen both my parents, I have to go see my brother. So my brother was also there, and my brother is 2 years younger than me, and he's extremely unique and awesome. And when I say awesome, I mean he also loves Harry Potter as much as I do. So we have that. He actually lived in Florida at the time of my parents' accident, so he, just like me, had to get on a plane and move his life home immediately. He is an addict, and he has battled addiction for the last 8 years. So when I got to Virginia, I was extremely nervous about how he was going to be and how he was going to react. So, I was extremely nervous about him. So 3 weeks into our time in Virginia, we were my brother and I were very firmly sat down and told that my dad would definitely never walk again, and that we would be extremely lucky if he even moved his arms, which he can today, so that's awesome. This news was extremely heartbreaking for us, and it was almost like we had to grieve his loss while he was still here. So I was even more nervous now about my brother and how he was going to react to this. And he did eventually, his battle with addiction was truly tried that week, and he did eventually relapse. And we decided as a family right away that it was going to be best that he went off to rehab and worked on channeling his anger and his emotions into a healthier way. So over the last 5 years, he has had his ups and downs, but he is on a good road today, and he actually has a baby on the way. So now at this point, we can see that the biggest problem that I have is that everyone in my family has a really big freaking problem. My parents were just shot. My brother relapsed and went back to rehab, and I am actually Googling places in Virginia where I can get my eyebrows waxed. And just to throw it out there, the guy I was seeing at the time, when I got home from Virginia, actually dumped me. Yeah. Like, how do you do that? So, needless to say, it was a really shitty month, but they do say that hardships often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destiny. So I think we can all say that I am destined for absolute motherfucking greatness. and he was sent directly to McGee Rehab in Philadelphia, where he was for the next 5 months. And my mom was driven straight to Jefferson Hospital, where she finally had the bullet removed from her face. So yeah, she had a bullet in her face for 3 weeks. So you're probably wondering now, how the hell did you get through this financially, let alone emotionally? Well, this is the best part of my story, and the part that I love to tell. The reason why I love to tell my story is because we might seem like the most unluckiest people in the world, but we actually are the luckiest people in the world, because the support system that we have is so wild and crazy that they have saved our lives, and they continue to this day to keep it as normal as possible for us. So one example specifically that I want to tell you guys about is the golf outing that we hold every year for my dad. So my dad was a huge and very talented golfer before his injury. So we do this golf outing every year to raise money for his medical fund. It's called the Team Doyle Golf Outing, and this summer will be our 6th annual event. And so far, each year, we have raised close to $100,000 for my dad's medical fund. So that's what he uses to live today, and the event is awesome, and it wouldn't be what it is, though, if it wasn't for the people that continue to show up for us. So what happened to my family and I can't stand up here and give you step-by-step instructions on how to get through. I didn't do anything specific to get through this, although drinking wine and watching Harry Potter helped. But what I can tell you to do, and what I can stand here and try to inspire you to do, is to look for the light the next time in what seems like the darkest time. Like I just told you, I laughed at my mom when she was shot in the face. That's finding the light. What mainly got us through, though, and what still gets us through today, are the people in our community and our family and friends who showed up for us. What we did that week that I can tell you to do was stick together. We hung on to each other. We laughed together, we cried together, we prayed together. No one ever left anyone alone. We hugged hourly, we embraced, and we showed each other truly what we meant to each other. We became a team, straight down to the timeouts, the huddles, the shifts, the breaks. We actually had people in rotation out of my parents' hospital rooms at all times so that I could eat, nap, and sleep, and get my eyebrows waxed. We became united through this, and the bond that we already had became so strong and so pronounced and so unbreakable that over the last 5 years, it hasn't even wavered a little bit. It has only become stronger. And it is a result of an insanely dark time that we all army crawled through together until we could only see the light. So people often ask me, I don't know how you do what you do. I would never be able to do this if I were you. And I used to say the same thing about myself. So I'm saying to you, you can and you would do the same exact thing. They say that you don't know how strong you are until being strong is literally your only choice, and that is so true. Someone actually said to my dad in front of me, I don't know how you do it. Like, he's in a wheelchair, he can't move his hands or his fingers. And they're like, I just don't know how you do it. It must suck. And my dad said, it's hard to have a bad day when there's this many people rooting for you. I don't want to let anyone down. So for people to be able to come together to make my dad feel like that after he has been through hell and can't move a muscle in his body, for that, we are internally grateful. My dad has been impacted so much by the support that our community has given him that he wants to give back so bad. He helps people who are newly injured. He helps people who are already paralyzed, and just tells them that there is hope and there is happiness on the other side of this. So, sorry, I don't want to miss anything good. So I hope that by telling you guys this story tonight, that you choose to look for the good the next time your faith is tested, because it is everywhere, even on airplanes apparently. You just need to know that you can. So I'm going to leave you with one last quote from one of my longtime idols, Professor Dumbledore. For you losers who don't know who that is, he's a character from Harry Potter. And he says, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the light. Thank you.